It's May 21st, 2022, and it would be fair to say that we could characterize the world after almost 2.5 years with the qualities of chaos and upheaval. So on every level, humanity is being challenged, and every individual has their own personal challenges that come to the forefront. So what I wanted to talk about in this video is if you're experiencing challenging events, chaos, and a state of upheaval in your personal and or family or work life, sometimes the people that we expect to be there for us with support and compassion can often end up being the individuals that turn against us and bring us down. And I wanted to talk about that because it's a very important thing that's happening. And it has to do with the unconscious mind. So this is a topic that's very important to me that I speak about a lot, because I think it's important for people to understand this so that we can understand ourselves better and that we can move towards healing, because these types of issues do not heal themselves. They only heal when an individual wants to get real and to look at themselves and what they're doing. So if you are experiencing a challenging situation, perhaps in a family context, and someone close to you that you expected to be there with understanding and support and kindness, all of a sudden gets triggered into deep fear and unworthiness, those unconscious drives within them that are connected with unresolved content that they've perhaps been living with for decades may cause that person to become highly destructive to themselves and to also target you with unfair and unkind behavior. And so when this happens, it's happening at an unconscious level. The person literally gets taken over by their own unconscious wounds, and they do things that are uncharacteristic of how they normally feel. Because when that intense fear comes up and they feel unworthy at some level, they can easily as well get triggered into jealousy and become highly destructive. So they may work against you. They may very easily misinterpret events and seek to bring you down. And then later, they don't know what happened to them. They got taken over by this energy and they feel bad about it. So it's important to understand that this can happen. And I know is happening to certain people where a loved one or someone that they're close to or are associated with in an intimate context, perhaps in a work context, may resort to underhanded tactics as a means of trying to solve their problems. And they get lost in the situation and become overwhelmed. And at other times, there may be people that show up in your life that act with great compassion and selflessness. And that's a wonderful thing to witness as well. But it's important to understand that if those that are close to you turn against you, that you have compassion and can be able to step back and distance yourself in a polite way. Because when someone gets taken over, they're completely out of control. And that's the nature of the unconscious mind and these unconscious drives that are associated with wounds. And they lay dormant until they're triggered. So when something very intense comes up that challenges a person's sense of self, their connection with their relationship, perhaps their connection with money, you can sometimes see them engage with behaviors that are harmful to themselves and to other people. And then afterwards, they don't know what came over them and overtook them to do and say the things that they did that caused harm and destruction. So it's good to be aware of these things, because in times of trouble, it's so important that we put our value system first. where we do anything and everything to hold true to our highest values, no matter what the cost of a relationship, the cost of financial well-being even, the cost of social connections. Nothing is more important than you holding strong to your values, because this is what is going to keep your vibrational frequency elevated and to allow you to spiral up to new heights of awareness and consciousness, where we can truly be in service to ourselves and to other people in times of need, as opposed to going into fear and going into ego mode and thinking about worry around survival or worry that we're going to lose something. We have to go in the other direction and not be afraid to lose anything in the name of truth and doing what's right, and doing right by other people as well as ourselves. And also having compassion. So if this has happened to you and someone close to you has turned on you in a time of need, you can at least understand that that's what happened. And of course, if it happens once, it can happen again, unless that person addresses what's going on with them and shifts it. So unconscious motivations do not fix themselves magically. If a person is operating in these ways, through underhanded tactics and deception, they will continue to do so until they are willing to look at themselves and to shift it. And support is usually needed for this, some type of therapeutic support. Because what we don't see about ourselves remains hidden, unless it's pointed out by someone else or a situation brings something to light that we weren't willing to look at before. So having compassion is important, but also detaching yourself is important as well. And just allowing each person to have their process. I hope this information has been helpful.